Hola, this is Brianna Cespedes, better known as DJ Cubanita. Welcome to the Los Angeles Hispanic Republican Club Show with your host, the man from the land of Lincoln, Lincoln Heights, David Hernandez. And from the jewel of San Fernando Valley, Arleta, California, Marianne Maldonado Bernal. You heard it right, Hispanic Republicans. Why? Because Hispanic values are conservative values, and conservative values are Republican values. That's why brown is the new red, Republican red. So listen up and hear what being a Republican is really about. Faith, family, and opportunity. And who knows, you just may be a Republican after all. If you believe only women should compete in women's sports, if you believe only girls and women should be allowed to use women's bathrooms, if you believe only women should be allowed in women's prisons, if you believe parents have a right and responsibility to raise their children, and if you believe age-appropriate, non-pornographic learning material should be the only books in schools, then welcome. Estás en tu casa. You are home. Now your hosts, David Hernandez and Marianne Maldonado Bernal.
Well, good evening, Marianne. Here we are.
Yes, here we are, David. We have a great show coming up. We have so much happening in our state, like usual.
Yep. Well, and and it's really appropriate.
Yes.
And because when I first talked to Gina about coming on the radio show, I mean, because they're talking about dividing California congressional districts, and now there's talk of splitting California from top to bottom into two separate states. So I said, you know what? Before we get into talking about the future or what is, why don't we take a moment to actually look back and reflect on the origins of where Californians actually began.
Right.
And so we're very fortunate indeed to have someone that we actually worked on a couple of projects with. And so we have with us, here we go, moved it over there, that, it's nice because we did that project at the American Legion in San Fernando.
Yes.
And so that was really great. And so let me move it down here. And we have Gina Felix Goldman, who is, where did I put that right there? Because Gina is so accomplished that I want to make sure that I have exactly to make sure that what she, a Mexican-American investigative reporter that has done some incredible work. And Gina, your mother was a really famous individual in Mexico, correct?
It's my aunt.
Your aunt,
Yeah,
okay. And
her name is Maria Felix.
Maria Felix, okay. Well, Gina, it's like Mary and I were just discussing, it's really important because I don't think many people really understand the origins of California. And here we are in the San Fernando Valley, and right over there, right by the 101 freeway and Lancashire Boulevard is Campo de Cahuenga. And so I know that's really, there's a story there, especially about a forgotten person who was kind of left out of the loop for whatever reason. But, so Gina, why don't you talk a little bit about the documentary that is coming out and why it is so important?
Well, first of all, thank you, David. Thank you, Marianne, for inviting us to your show. It means a lot. I felt very strongly about doing this documentary because it broke my heart, and I got really upset when I saw on TV all the people that were burning down the American flag, the people that were that were carrying the Mexican flag like if it was a blanket or a handkerchief. If you do that in Mexico, you get arrested in Mexico, and these people were burning down the American flag, and okay, well, and I thought to myself, okay, well, everybody has a right to protest. Okay, we get it, but one thing is protest, and the other thing is acting crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, and so my Mexican American blood boiled. I'm like, what are these people thinking? Clearly, they're not thinking. And if they want immigration reform, that's not a good way to go about the situation. On the contrary, they're going to think that all Mexicans are the same.
No,
Yes.
well,
And we're not.
No, and not only that, not all Latinos are the same.
Exactly.
I mean, but Gina, I have the most important question.
Yeah.
Menudo or pozole?
Oh my God, you guys are gonna think I don't eat menudo or pozole. I eat.
Get out! Security! Let's go.
How about tamales? You gotta save yourself.
Yeah, no. But I do. I learned. I learned how to make Argentine empanadas from a town called Cordoba, Argentina. So I know how to make those because I don't know how to cook. And I also I also learned how to make healthy tamales. And so
Gluten-free tamales.
Organic.
Organic. Okay.
Yeah.
Because we usually end up talking about the food.
Yeah. No, because the pozole and the menudo, it's in my humble opinion, it's not healthy. So I make my own version of organic tamales.
Oh, okay, all right. And so, like you were saying, there were a lot of people that were out there demonstrating. Which, hey, come on, we believe in the First Amendment. The right to peaceful assemble, petition the government, and all of that. Except so many people really don't understand the real origins, or they've been taught stuff that was maybe half true. Or because I got out of the Navy in 1971, and I went to Valley College, and I took Chicano Studies, and I looked at, and all the stuff that I was being taught, it's kind of like one-sided.
It is one-sided, and so that's why I came up with this documentary. It's called California's Grassroots. And why California's? Because back then, anybody that was a native indigenous Mexican, and Spanish, they were called Californios. That was their name, okay? And so I started a documentary starting from the year 1635 all the way to 2025.
Well, in watching the clip that you had on YouTube, I mean, you really go into a lot of the Native American tribes that were basically here first.
Exactly.
And, going up and down the coast, some of my friends, I know there's a couple of Chumash bands of coastal Indians, and but also from all over here in the San Fernando Valley, in San Fernando, there were so many different tribes here.
Right. There was so many, and when you think about it, because from my family, we have Yaqui in our family, and when people are always, I feel like it's so divisive, and it's so like, when you're Mexican, you're usually part Spanish, you're usually some type of indigenous. So I'm like, well, what part am I supposed to be fighting for? Am I supposed to be fighting for my Spanish side, for my indigenous side, from my Mexican side? Like, what side? I mean, and every place has been conquered at one point, just about. So I feel like it's just divisive when they're saying like this was our land, and it's like, well, there's a lot of lands that have been conquered. And, when it's done, it's done. It's a done deal. It's part of history now. And we read about it, and it's good for us to know about it. So, I mean, I could imagine, like, when you're watching all the rioting and I saw a lot of rioting where you're burning cars and businesses. That's not what it's meant to be when we're talking about protesting. That's not part of protesting. That's different.
I agree. And the majority of the people, in my opinion, that were doing that are people that clearly are not educated on what the real history is.
Right.
Okay. That's why I did this documentary. And a lot of people don't really know the real history of who actually decided, with the land expansion, who took over the land, who took over. I mean, there was a lot of conquering, a lot of
a lot of back and forth between the French and also Spain and Mexico, and
Spain invaded Mexico.
Well, actually, Spain first invaded the indigenous people's lands.
Exactly that. And then they invaded Mexico.
Right.
And then let me tell you, it's people have to watch this documentary, and so that they can get educated and really know what
and
the
have
truth is.
And have a clear perspective as to the chronological events, because I know individuals who their families had some of the Spanish land grants, and when Mexico took over, they took all the land from them, and they're still a little upset about that.
It's a very touchy subject, believe me, it really is. And whether you speak to a Mexican national or a Mexican American or a Chicano or a Native Indigenous person, there's a lot of pain. There's still hurt there, even with the African American people, because in the documentary I also included what politicians, and this is historical stuff.
Right.
Okay, it's not
Yeah,
like
it's not opinion.
It's not my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm an investigative journalist. These are facts. Okay, and this is people can find this in the Library of Congress, in the Mexico. I mean, these are facts, and it's totally backed up.
Well, Gina, that with different documentaries or with movies or in general, where you're trying to convey a message and you want to educate the viewer, it's really important to keep their attention. And sometimes when you go into the numbers and different stuff, so what we have seen, the part that music has played in movies or just anything, but in your documentary, I mean, you have some of the most talented, incredible, accomplished individuals that one could think of, and I'm looking right over next to you is Manny Martinez, and
Yay,
Manny, welcome, and because the music is vital.
Thank you for the invite, David and Marianne. Yeah, this is really exciting. This documentary was really painstaking for Gina because this was a lot of research that went into this, and the thing is, we didn't have photographs of a lot of those people of that period. So we had to go by sketches. I edited the documentary, so we had to go with drawings and things like that. And Gina and Mona did a heck of a job doing the research on the history of the western part of the United States. I mean, in the early 1300s, yes, the East Coast was fighting off England. But all this territory, the rest of the country was Mexico, all the way to Florida. I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe that Florida was Mexican territory.
Right.
And then we had the Louisiana Purchase, and we had the other purchases. So that's how Mexico kept cutting back.
Now, and that was, but before it was Mexico, it was Spain, right? And then didn't Spain then?
It was Spain and France that were
trying
to get the country.
Right. Yeah. So it was Spain and France, and then Spain was successful.
The real inhabitants of the land were the indigenous people.
Right.
Okay. We have to clarify that.
No. And
okay.
yeah, that's the beginning,
And
because
the
sometimes
beginning.
people, when they talk about historical ownership, they only go so far.
No. This we went really
If we want
far.
to be truthful and honest,
It's the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Olmecs, right? And that's basically, and they also fought for the land. So
Right.
like, it's always funny when people try to talk about like, it was our land, but the indigenous people were also fighting over the
Exactly.
land. So it wasn't like some peaceful utopia.
Right, but what happened? They were there.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
discovered. They
Right.
were already there.
yeah, they weren't lost.
Okay,
Yes.
they weren't lost. Then what happened? The French tried to take over. The Spaniards tried to take over, and then finally the Spaniards just claimed it just because.
Yeah.
All right. And so that's where everything started. And then also the French invaded, Mexico, and then the United States, they invaded. So we're talking about a lot of invasion, taking over and conquering.
Right.
Not only of the indigenous people, but also the Mexicans, and also the African American
Yeah.
people. And we also included authentic African American music of the Gulagush, because back then that's what they were singing when they were working on the plantations. A lot of people don't know that a lot of the American presidents owned slaves, even children.
Well, but some people talk as if slavery began in the United States, and in reality, there's still slavery today all over this planet, unfortunately. And I think in your documentary, you talked about what Mexico ending slavery. We know that England, before the United States, ended slavery there, and then the United States, afterwards, and there was quite a bit of a civil war over it, and many people perished. But it's going back to also the music is really important. And so, Manny, when you're getting all of these images of things in the past, I mean, did that stir up any feelings or any emotions that really contributed to your creativity?
No, I was just trying to fit her dialogue. I got her script, and I was trying to find images that fit her narrative. And it was a little hard because it's 35 minutes long, and there's probably hundreds, maybe 200 pictures, and that's kind of time-consuming to do.
Right.
Because each picture is only 5-6 seconds. You know?
Yeah.
So it was a story, storytelling with pictures. That's a hard thing. And these were not good pictures. They were sketches, and most of them were sketches.
Well, Manny, with your accomplishments, because I know you won an Emmy.
Yes, I've won an Emmy nomination, and I have 6 Emmy nominees. I was nominated 6 times, and I won 1 Emmy.
So with that history and that track record of success, you must really believe in this project to actually be connected with it.
I've done a lot of documentaries. I did NBC's 50th anniversary, which was a 4.5-hour show.
Wow.
And that took us a long time to produce. And then we had 2 more following the first show that were 2 hours long. And those were mostly from videotape sources.
Right.
We went to the NBC vaults and pulled out old tapes, Dinosaur Chevy shows,
Yeah.
and Texaco Theater, kinescopes. Do you remember kinescopes?
Johnny Carson.
Well, Johnny Carson was
later,
later,
right?
much later.
Yeah.
No,
But who was on, like Sid Caesar?
Sid Caesar, yeah.
Show of
Sid
Shows.
Caesar, Sid Caesar.
And in those days, we just had kinescopes because in back in the days in the 50s, they would broadcast them live in New York.
Right.
And for the West Coast, we had to shoot a film camera and shoot a monitor and make a kinescope. A kinescope is a film of the show. So here on the West Coast, because it's 3-hour delay, we aired a piece of film.
Well, Manny, it's something because Martinez, I mean, you're not Irish, right?
No.
So,
I was born here in Pacoima.
But because I was going to say is that you've been in the business quite a while.
Yeah, a long time, too long.
A long time, and there are some industries where you did see a lot of. Well, we didn't even call them we didn't call us Hispanics back then. You did see a lot of Mexicans in the industry.
Yeah, I lived right off Van Nuys Boulevard between San Fernando Road and Glen Oaks.
Yeah, we know exactly where that is.
Dirt roads, vacant lots.
Well, how did you start in the business?
Well, I used to be an aerospace engineer. I used to work.
Oh, that'll do it every time. Yeah, aerospace engineer.
I want to be an engineer since grammar school. Since grammar school, I want to be an engineer. So I studied.
Don't tell me you went to San Fernando High School.
Yes, I did.
No! A tiger.
I graduated in
Fist bumps are here.
I graduated in '63, and then I went to Valley College.
Yeah.
And then when I was there, I won I can't say a contest, but I had for Rocketdyne needed rocket engine engineers. They didn't have any because at that time in the early '60s, our rockets were failing. So
yeah, they were going.
They needed engineers badly. So I took an exam with 70 other engineers, and I was one of 5 that got selected. I was very lucky, very lucky. So I worked at Rocketdyne for several years, and I was working nights. And then they wanted me to work in the daytime because my jobs became very important.
Right.
And so I lost my deferment because I was going to Valley College, and with enough credits, you were deferred from the Vietnam War. So I got drafted, so I had to go to the Air Force. So in the Air Force, after I came out of the Air Force, then I went to work for NBC.
Well,
So
thank you for your service. I was in the Navy around that time. I went in '67 and got out in '71. But so that's really incredible because that's, like I said, in some industries you didn't have a lot of Mexicans in there, especially from Pacoima or San Fernando Tiger. Right. And so, but we also have another Martinez, and that's Randy Martinez. Hey,
yep, that's me.
Hi, Randy.
Hello. Yeah, it's funny because I've known Marianne for like such a long time. I saw her through the glass. I'm like,
I know. I'm like, is that Randy?
It's like seeing your teacher at the supermarket. It's just really weird.
It was kind of strange. It's like Randy just dropped off. It's like, what happened to you? But you're still around, I guess.
Yeah, I'm still here, still doing stuff.
All right, so Marianne, good. Then you can ask Randy. What is he doing here, and how's he connected with this?
Well, yeah, but tell us all about it. I know Randy's been. Do you still work on the show? Was it the talk or? Is it,
well, unfortunately, the talk went off the air in December, so I currently am showless. But it is giving me a opportunity.
But you are available, right? You're showless, but you're available.
Sure. Anybody want to hire me? Visual effects, graphics, editing. I'll do.
There you go.
Audio. I do.
There you
which
go.
I did. I did a lot of audio on the documentary. That's how I most of my contribution was for the audio and the recording of the whole thing.
So did you guys all know each other for a while from, maybe working together on another project?
Yeah, it was mostly because Lou Pizarro and I had Repo Radio.
Yes.
We had that for 10 years on KDUC Barstow. It was a lot of fun. We even started doing podcasts. So you want to see some of it, go to youtube.com, Repo Radio, find some clips. But we started getting invited to a lot of these Christmas parades. And we would all, and then we'd meet Gina and meet with Danny Trejo, we'd meet a bunch of people. And then she just, helped us get recognized by the city. And she's just always been like a big advocate for us. And, so, yeah, shout out to her because she's, awesome. Yeah.
Right. That's awesome. So what's your part in the documentary?
Yeah, pretty much I did the audio, and then I helped manage all those 200 and something photos that came through because my dad was just so busy with the editing. I'm like, okay,
So is this your dad?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I missed that whole part totally. I don't know where I was.
Yeah. So I'm the.
Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah.
I
But
like
I'm a lot more handsome and taller. Just say that. Funnier. Yeah.
You're a lot younger too. I'm sure your dad was handsome when he was younger.
He still
we
is.
were all better looking when we were younger.
Remember, I'll be 77 on next Saturday, so that's 70. 70 is the new 50.
Yeah, but I will say he has photos in uniform where I don't. So
when you were putting this documentary together, did you guys find anything during, I guess, the research and putting things together that were just things that you didn't know or you didn't understand? Can you maybe, shed some light on some of that?
Well, Gina did all the research. I did not do any of the research. I just had the script and worked from the script. But editing the pieces, I was just amazed at how many slaves some of our presidents had. I was amazed how big the territory of Mexico was.
Right.
And I was amazed that all these presidents and old guys, they looked old from the drawings, they had great penmanship.
Right,
I mean, when you see those letters,
Yes.
their writing
2
is
minutes.
perfect.
Yes.
I couldn't believe because she actually got photographs of the letters. And you can see
I mean, when you think about that, and you think about the kids today who are on computers all the time, it's a lot of them don't even know how to write in handwriting anymore. It's really kind of sad, really.
Yeah. The only penmanship they have is when they write on a bridge or write on some trash cans, or then they know.
That's funny. Well, you got to start somewhere.
Well, and I think, and that's really great that a father and son can work together on such a meaningful project, and then it's such a serendipitous moment because you walk in, you've got two San Fernando. Don't tell me you went to San Fernando too.
No, I went to Sylmar.
Oh, I went to Sylmar. Okay, so we got San Fernando, Sylmar, Poly, but so it's really great, and it's nice that your father going from aerospace into this area, and then you're right there, be able to collaborate with him and with Gina. And so, we're really fortunate indeed, and, we're really looking forward now. We're going to a break now, but I understand we have a couple of individuals that performed some of the songs on the documentary, and they're going to come in and share those with us. So
that's awesome. Stay tuned, everybody. You can't miss this. I don't want to miss it, so stay tuned. Yes.
All right.